Welcome to the Epicenter. This is Frank.
This is Banhammer.
Doppel.
Zebra swirls.
Okay, let us begin with the anime news.
Uh, there's nothing really much to report. Let me see. They released the fall anime chart.
Oh, they did?
Looks like it's going to be a pretty decent season.
I didn't see this.
You got Psycho Pass 2 coming out.
Of
You've
course.
got the new Fate Stay adaptation. They're going to do I forget, Unlimited Blade route. There's all types of good crap. There's a brand new Gundam coming out. Let me see if I can bring it up, because this was probably the best fall lineup I've seen in quite a while.
I'll definitely have to look at the list, and I'll check that out and see which ones I shall watch.
Let's see. Was this last year? No, this.
Well.
Okay.
We'll bring it up
I was
later.
just looking. I was just looking at some of the ones on here. Yeah, they got Fate Stay Night. There's a couple. The new Gundam, which I'm obligated to watch. Coffin Princess Season 2. If you're a fan of Magic Kaido, fuck yes.
Oh, the Kaido Kid.
Yeah, the Kaido Kid series this fall.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Another one, if you like shonen, Seven Deadly Sins, which I'm reading the manga for, and it's surprisingly and extremely good series.
I'm a fan of shonen a lot of the time.
I really fucking enjoyed this. This was really good. It's probably going to be a shorter one, because I think it's not going to be more than 100 chapters. I'm pretty sure they're almost done.
I don't mind that. I already got my long-running shonen that I'm watching.
Yeah, they got Psycho Pass 2. Let me see if I can find any other highlights. Nah, that looks like it. And then there's a bunch of other low-key things.
You know,
But
you
yeah,
might find something good. We found Sabagibu this year.
That was a big risk on my part, because I looked at that and I got burned on C3 last year, and Justin told me to check it out, and I am glad I did, because that is some of the funniest shit.
And they got all political this episode.
Yeah, they got all political. Join the hunting association.
We should go hunting. We should all go hunting. We're in the right area for it.
Yep.
But it's that's
Hunting for what?
Deer? People hunt deer around here?
yeah,
People
it's not
hunt
too
around here.
yet. It's almost
Not yet.
season.
We should all go hunt. Come on. We'll go into the woods. We'll have guns. It'll be great.
Oh yeah,
I was
in
trying to
January.
bring it on.
In January, the Durarara Season 2 is going to come out. They posted cell art for that.
Oh, I did not finish season 1.
Well, you watched the only good part of it. You only needed to watch the first 12 episodes. The other one was shit, so I'll have to see how this season pans out.
I don't know. It got weird. The character relationships started to get. They stopped being the usual ideal thing they have in a lot of the usual simple ideal relationships to ones that are actively toxic, and it just seemed like it was a little too weird for me. I just didn't like it that much near after the 12 episode mark.
Now, actually, I have 3 new main characters, and then a couple of the ones from the first season will come back. The 4 that ran around in the van are coming back.
Good. Like that dude who was keeping the Doulahan hostage. It started to get weird when the show was playing it up like it was a positive thing.
Yeah, well, they're both back.
Like when when something bad happens, and the show either has to treat it, neutrally and let you decide that it's bad, or, show that it's, negative. But no, they spun it in a positive light, which was really weird. This author is probably suppressed or crazy or something, or serial killer.
Because I got a second season of this and a second season of Baccano, which is the superior
Bakano was a superior
work
one. That was awesome.
by this author. Except the Japanese have terrible taste.
Yes, they do. I agree.
What else?
Are we some kind of anti-weeboo here? We like anime, but we hate the Japanese.
No, No.
Well, we hate the Japanese.
I like plenty of weeb things, but sometimes they have just their choice in things that get second seasons is incredibly questionable.
Like
Yeah.
him.
There's a market for that. I could see why.
But you'll never get...
I blame that show for killing off my chance of getting Full Metal Panic from Ofu.
Yep, no more Full Metal Panic. Just moe blobs and moe blobs.
Oh, well, now they're catering to the women now, so because now they have free.
Hey, well, Full Metal Panic has that love story in it, so maybe there is hope eventually.
I'm sad. I'm gonna have to read the manga to finish Full Metal Panic.
Oh, it's
That just makes me sad that I'll never get the end of that. But what I've been doing, I've been catching up on all the stuff I bought from Otakon. I've been watching the remastered editions of Ranma.
How are they?
I actually really like it. My only real complaint is that I still have that shitty Charlie Brown voice for the first 3 seasons for male Ranma, and that ruins an otherwise I'd think stellar dub for an older show.
Good grief!
I know. I can't. It just bothers me. I could see what they were trying to do for that, because trying to get a girl to do like a male character voice for something that's a show about the guy gets splashed by hot water, he turns into a girl. I can admire what they tried to do, but it just didn't work.
Yoda does it.
Because it's just, other than that, the fucking dub I thought was pretty good for an older thing. The standout performance is the guy who does Kuno's voice.
Yeah,
because they did the translations for some in Japanese always spoken like haiku poetry. They turned it in like Shakespearean speak.
Yeah, you see, that's the kind of translation I like, because it preserves the meaning of it.
Yeah, it captures the essence of what the character was about, and it was just because he hams it. Kuno's a hammy character, and he does an excellent job of doing the ham. That guy could bring it. Like the one who's like, oh, the pig-tailed girl, she has a name, I must prepare the ink. And it's just all of these things on there, and like I said, there is a couple good performances by a lot of the guy who did Naraku's voice. Does a really good Happosai, which is like the old character, which I think is the fucking worst character in the show, but he brings a lot to that character. But it's a classic. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, or you read the manga for it. Ending kind of blows, but I think when she ended that's when she started to enter her hacks shit phase, which is when we got Inuyasha, because it was stellar all the way up to the end of it, and it would have nice to have some type of fucking conclusion, because she fucking ended everything else she did right, except for that series. It just kind of just left it hanging there. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good. The characters were pretty funny.
Oh yeah,
I've also,
when I watched it,
I also saw there was an A thread talking about Urusei Yatsuru, which was her original thing that most people credit her for as being her best work, and I got treated to the most 80s anime opening of all time, and because I saw that, I went and I'm torrenting all 195 episodes of Urusei Yatsuru.
Oh god, good luck with that.
Oh, I'm 57% done. Actually 74%. So I'm gonna watch that shit. That is the most 80s thing I think I've seen in a long fucking time.
I don't know, Tank Police was pretty 80s.
Yeah, I'll have to send you the link for Rock the Planet, which was opening 5. Because that's just full up 80s rock, and they're fucking dressed in spacesuits, and they're fucking flying around on stars and shit for the opening. And it has this sick 80s guitar riff. But that's most of what I'm doing. I'm going to be catching up on a lot of my Blu-ray things I got. I'm probably going to rewatch Psycho Pass really quick before the second season comes out.
I haven't watched it. Yeah, I'll probably rewatch it again. So I already watched it before. I'll watch it again.
Yeah,
Can't watch enough Psycho Pass.
I didn't see the dub, so I've had it sitting on my shelf for months.
Oh, the dub's great. The dub's awesome.
Because
It's
that's
a
the
very
thing.
good
I
dub.
buy anime, and then it'll sit on my shelf for like a fucking year or two, sometimes 3, and then I'll get in a mood where I want to like binge watch it, and then I'll go through and start rewatching things. Because the one time, like, I haven't seen Full Metal Panic in 5 years. I rewatched all of Fumofu in one night, which is probably the best Full Metal Panic because it cuts out all that stupid drama bullshit from it, and it boils it down to what it should have been, a fucking comedy.
Yeah.
Because it had some really fucking good episodes of that.
So was his name Yusuke?
No,
What was it? No, it wasn't Yusuke.
Sosuke.
Sosuke. Oh, it's some kind of Ske.
Yeah, it was Sosuke. It was he just the fucking voice acting on
Sosuke
the
Saga.
English, on the old ADV English dubs was just like fucking perfect. The guy that they had doing it, he fucking nailed that role for being goddamn deadpan.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
And it just makes me weep that ADV turned into the fucking Sentai and they can't dub shit anymore. And all of their translations are fucking garbage. I can't wait for the Sabu Gabu dub, where none of the voices match the fucking lip flaps because they can't take the extra production time to do that, and I'll get my piss yellow subs.
Woo!
You know what I like about the Urusei Itzaru things I'm ripping? It's the fucking DVD version, but the people who ripped it gives you the option to fucking change the piss yellow to white.
Nice.
So yeah, that's basically the anime news I have.
All right, I guess we're moving on to comic books and tabletop. Okay, comic books. I got some stuff. I caught up on my Marvel. There was an event in Spider-Man called Spider-Verse.
Oh God.
This takes place back in Superior Spider-Man. So it's Doc Ock Spider-Man going through dimensions, teaming up with other Spider-Men to take down this extra-dimensional entity that's trying to kill all Spider-Man throughout the universes. And I know he has Noir Spider-Man on his team, so it's pretty cool. So it's pretty much all the Spider-Men that kill people. I think he has like one more Spider-Man that's a bit more like Spider-Man, but it should be pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. Also, Black Cat is really angry. She teamed up with Electro to take down Spider-Man because of what Superior did. Let's see what else. Deadpool's getting pretty good.
This run's just been good all around.
Oh yeah. Oh, the next issue of Deadpool, they're doing one of their ones where they go back in time to like the style. It's gonna be in the 90s this time.
Oh Jesus.
So expect this should be good. The 90s was a magical time for comic books.
Oh, none of that, as Brian was saying.
Yeah, it's gonna be hilarious. I guarantee you. I guarantee you they're gonna make fun of Rob Liefeld's art. It's gonna be the most jacked issue of Deadpool or of anything ever created. Everyone's gonna be jacked. There's gonna be a lot of yelling. It's gonna be great. There's gonna be a lot of pouches. A lot. Of
when does this issue come out?
Next month. I don't know exactly when.
Crap! I'll have to go to the comic shop and get that. Is it only a one-shot issue or?
No, it's continuation. See what? It's in the latest Deadpool run. Sometimes they'll do like instead of doing like doing a flashback, they'll do a whole flashback issue that's done in the style of whatever era it was written in. So you get one from like the 70s, and it has the really weird printing with all the dots and everything, and it kind of makes fun of that era. Like I think in the first flashback issue, Flash Gordon parked in a handicap spot, and it's funny because now Flash Gordon doesn't have legs. But yeah, all those issues of Deadpool are really good when they go back in time because it does a lot. It's a lot of it's subtle meta humor about comics in general. So definitely pick up that issue. It's usually they do it at the beginning of an arc, so it's gonna be good. And Wolverine and the X-Men is kind of getting bad because the original writer
I
left
expected that to happen.
when the good writer left.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna end up dropping that soon. It was such a good book. I have all the good issues.
So I'll probably go on Black Friday and buy the omnibus thing that collected everything for like $75.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a good buy. That was.
At least I'll get the good run of it.
So I have it's comics / video news. I've been playing Marvel Heroes 2015, and if you never heard of that game, it's basically Marvel doing. It's basically made by some ex-guys who did Diablo, and they basically made Marvel into Diablo in the Marvel universe. So it plays like your average Diablo type game where you just run around, kill everything in sight, collect the new gear and stuff. It's free to play, and the way to make it free to play is basically as you play, you collect basically money, and once you get so much money or tokens, you can trade them in for new heroes. So it's kind of like how they did a League of Legends style with how you get your heroes and stuff.
I don't mind that. You see,
No.
the way I see it, that's basically a demo.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless you play it for a long time. It's not like it's not like you're doing that and there's a point of entry.
I mean, it's a full game. There's a lot of content. There's like hours upon hours of content. It's actually, for a free game, it's really pretty good. You start out the game, I forget the start out line of our heroes, but you start out, you pick one, and that's your hero until you unlock more heroes. So, I mean, overall, for a free game, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, on tabletop news, Gen Con was last week, and a lot of stuff, especially from Fantasy Flight, was announced. Fantasy Flight's really milking the Star Wars franchise a lot.
Oh God.
We have Star Wars Armada, which
Right.
is fleet battles, and it's a little expensive for my taste, honestly. It looks cool, but that's a little above.
Is that the
also
one you talked about last week?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I'll grab that quick. There's also They also added a new faction for the X-Wing miniatures game.
Oh Jesus.
It's the Black Sun Syndicate. So there's it's really devious because the Black Suns use a lot of the units that the Imperials and the Rebels use, but there's different upgrades to them. There's illicit upgrades, and also they have their own units like that weird X-shaped fighter. So it looks pretty cool. If I played it, I'd definitely be interested.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I kind of like that Fantasy Flights, while X-Wing is a big money sink, it's not as bad as 40K. They're like, yeah, we added a new faction, but you can use some of the stuff from the other two if you already have those. So it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And also, they made a game which is basically Descent, but with Star Wars characters.
I mean, yeah, Star Wars, they're milking the license, but then
I don't
again,
blame them, honestly.
Look who buys it.
Honestly, I don't think I'm going to purchase any of the Star Wars games. The only one I might be interested in is Armada if I get it at a much cheaper price than $100.
The problem is, for me, not that they're Star Wars, but I would kind of like new original games based on, just Star Wars seems like, more Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. Though I will say again, their XCOM game looks really fun.
Yeah, but that's not Star Wars. That's XCOM. That's a totally different thing.
Yeah, that I will definitely be purchasing. As well, I might finally buy one of their LCGs. Basically, what the Warhammer Conquest.
Okay.
So if you don't know, this is how. Essentially, what Fantasy Flight does is though at least what's called a living card game, which is essentially there's no booster packs. They release a big box that has all the cards.
Yeah, that's what they did with Game of Thrones. Basically, they released it. It used to be actually a full-on CCG, but they made the LCG. So you usually just buy a starter box, and then you just buy the decks.
Yeah, and then they'll release more expansions as it
Yep,
goes through. But
exactly.
I like that system a lot. I think it's a lot fairer. You see, I think when I started to get disillusioned with Magic is when I fought this guy and all he would throw out is planeswalkers. It
Yeah,
was ridiculous.
yeah. That's the problem I have with Magic is I like the idea of it, but when they release a new set, it's like you pay to win. With these games, it's like, yeah, you would still pay to get have a better deck, but
There are people who will buy multiple core sets to get multiples of cards, but you don't need to hang out with those people.
yeah. But I also like that you can buy a couple sets and just invite friends over and play a game.
Like,
It's
hey,
not like,
let's build a deck from all these cards.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, have some fun.
Yeah,
And it comes with all the factions, so you can potentially build a
okay,
deck for every single one of the factions. There's a lot there. Like there's Imperial Guard, Space Marine, Orc, Chaos, Dark Eldar, and Tau.
okay. The Game of Thrones one doesn't have all the factions in the base set, but you just have to buy like 2 expansions.
So
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely so I like the concept of a living card game.
Yeah, I wish they would do more of them.
Yeah, they do that for Star Wars too.
Yeah, there's a Star Wars one too, of course.
Yeah,
There's
except they screwed up the third faction and they didn't make it strong enough, so they had to release an expansion to fix it.
Oh really?
Yeah, because you had an Empire Rebel and Scum and Villainy, and Scum and Villainy kind of fucking blew. So they released a thing called Scum and Villainy, and it was just cards that dealt with that.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh boy.
But and then they would occasionally release like maybe a set of like 60 other cards to go along with it and flesh it out.
Yeah.
But it's not very often they do that. But I laughed really hard at that one. I'm like, they had to fix it because then people who wanted to play it didn't do very well in it.
Yeah, I also like how it's like every couple months they release a new set, not like every week or whatever.
Yeah. So, and you should totally get into X-Wing there, Banhammer.
No, it's a slippery slope.
Just think you could have
I saw
all
that
your
Tantive 4 that they had at Otakon in the room. I'm not doing that.
you could have
First
all
of all, I have no one to play with.
you could have
Second
your
of all,
squadron. You could have your squadron on your shelf before you play.
no, I don't
Not
fucking think.
not only is it a game, it is also decoration, and look at how detailed they are.
I already have my Weep figures. That's all I need.
Yeah, but your work desk can be popular with X-Wings.
Oh yeah. Doppel, I had that wonderful gift card for my company for a good fiscal year, so I went on a $250 shopping spree, and I joined the over $100 figure club.
All right, let's move on.
So I have something that's Marvel related.
Oh, what's going on?
I finally saw Guardians of the Galaxy this weekend.
Oh, nice. What'd you think?
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, it was really good.
No, that's probably my favorite Marvel movie that they've done so far.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say that's the best one so far. My second favorite's I know you won't agree with this, but my second favorite is Winter Soldier.
Oh, I fucking hated that.
I know.
It was so generic.
Opinions.
I know. I much prefer the ham-fisted first Captain America.
I just don't think that the after the credits scene from Guardians was really worth it. I mean,
that was a joke. That was a joke. That's why I liked it. You needed to go to the theater I was in, and you got who the fuck is that?
I didn't get that much of a reaction from it because there was literally, I don't know, 12 people in the theater that I went to because I saw it last weekend. It's been out for a really long time.
Yeah, definitely.
So my mom didn't understand it, but
It's not to understand. His name's Star-Lord. He's a criminal. They're in space.
no, she didn't understand the after the credits scene.
Oh, okay.
And then I explained it to her, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I remember him."
Howard the Duck was in an issue of of Wolverine and the X-Men.
Why is he not in the issue of Deadpool yet?
Oh, Kid Apocalypse was in the latest issue of Deadpool. Even though he doesn't look like a kid anymore, he looks like an adult man. All right, I guess we can move on to the technologies.
All right, so I got one story. Sharp has a new phone, and it's I think the Sharp Aquos, and it has no bezel on it. Like, it is sexy as hell.
It does look like a very nice phone.
It's basically a mid-powered Android smartphone, 240 unlocked. It has no bezel on it, so it will break in 3 seconds after you drop it. But you know, it's probably the best looking phone out there.
I'm really happy with my phone because I've had it for the weekend, and it takes really nice pictures.
Oh yeah, you got the
downloads
new
things
phone.
really fast.
Oh, you got your new phone.
Yep, my Galaxy 5.
Oh, you got a better phone than me.
It's the white one, so it's pretty.
Want to fight about it?
What?
Enjoy that battery life while it lasts. My fucking Galaxy 4's battery, I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. It keeps, I don't know, it'll randomly, drop the entire charge on it. Sometimes I have to pull the battery out, count to 30 Mississippi, put it back in.
30 Mississippi. Yeah, Samsung batteries suck, PP.
Because I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, why the fuck is this draining on me so fast? It shouldn't drain that quickly when I haven't used it this much today.
Well, that makes me sad.
I'm thinking when I get an upgrade next year, I might move into something else.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
This is my first Samsung phone. I've been getting LGs lately, so that makes me sad.
If I ever get another upgrade, I'll probably look on something. I'll use this phone till it's dust.
You need to get a good contract, son. I get a free upgrade, or not a free upgrade, but I get an upgrade every 2 years.
No, it's not a free upgrade. You pay more on your bill.
I don't know. My dad had a really good deal with that. I've only paid $80 a month.
That's a lot of money to pay a month.
Not for me. I got a job, son.
I don't know how much my...
I use that cell phone as my primary communication device. I don't have a landline or anything.
Okay.
I'm still on a family plan, so I just know that
that's my family plan. I have unlimited call and texting.
Okay, so let's move on to the video games.
Yep.
Shall we start with the big issue that's going out?
Yeah.
That's going around.
Yes.
Oh God. Where do we even start with this? So there's no integrity when it comes to certain video game journalist sites.
Well, first of all, there has been no integrity for a long while for a lot of these sites.
Yeah, I know this is the big issue now, but this has been on since what year was that? Was that one guy from GameSpot fired for the Kane and Lynch 2 review?
Geez, that'd be like, what, 5 years ago?
Yeah, it was 5 or 6 years ago. This has been going on for a long time, and it's not about Quinn in particular. Whether you talk about her as a good person, bad person, what she did is her business.
Wait, what happened?
He'll send you a video.
I'll send you a video. We're not going to get into the whole thing because anyone who knows about it already knows about it. There's searched Zoe Quinn.
You'll send me a link to it. We'll just wait for your link.
The funny thing about that video is that it did get me enraged at the state of the video game industry, but it also got me hungry for Five Guys.
Oh,
I can't eat Five Guys. I had it that one time, and that one time was more than enough.
Hey, Five Guys now is milkshakes.
I saw that. That looks.
They have the bacon milkshake.
I saw the bacon milkshake.
The
Yeah.
fucking grease in that thing ate a hole through the paper bag it was in and like ruined my fucking pair of cargo shorts.
Aww.
It should not leak that. My fast food should not leak that much grease.
Let's know it's official.
Yes.
But yeah,
Don't get fries.
Get your bag of fries.
But yeah, this whole situation is messed up, and the fact that she is taking down websites, and that she is people are getting censored, and DMCA notices are being filed for videos speaking out against her. That's what I take offense to. That blatant censorship of someone who doesn't agree with you.
Yeah, that's what I said. I've been noticing that a lot lately, that when I go to different sites on there in the forum board, that people come out of the woodwork and get offended by that shit that they really shouldn't.
The same thing happened with Akiba's Trip.
I fucking love that game. There is nothing wrong with that fucking game.
I'm getting it for PS4.
It is possibly one of the most. I'll talk about that later, but it is a fucking fun game.
I think it's first of all, it's not offensive. It's meant to be, that's how nerds talk to each other.
No, honestly, that is an excellent representation of what 2chan's like.
Yeah, that's just
how I like the pitter feed was my favorite part in that game. Enjoy your fucking concert, weeb. She's not staring at you.
And you want to hide the truth just because it hurts your feelings?
I know. Everything is just so ridiculously politically correct anymore. I don't know what happened. Everybody has paper-thin skin.
No, I think just a few people have paper-thin skin, but they just tweet about it endlessly, so it looks like a lot more people have it.
Yeah. But I mean, going back to the whole gaming journalist thing, I really lost all faith in the game journalism anymore. I don't even look at reviews anymore. I find them pointless.
How am I supposed to know to pre-order a game? How do I know that review, that no money was changed hands, or
exactly.
nothing else changed hands?
All you gotta look at is at Game Ad, or whatever the fuck that is anymore, Game Informer. I used to hold that as a pinnacle for journalism before the internet fucking came along and you had the different sites, because they used to have really good articles and shit on there. Now every time you get that, it's ad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and
I still
give
trust
the high marks to AAA bullshit games, which aren't that good.
I still trust Joystick, and I used to trust Penny Arcade, but they're also falling victim to the whole they don't want to offend anybody.
Oh, that's what I said. Once you get out there and you're famous enough, you just paint a fucking target on yourself. So then you're gonna have to sit there dancing around eggshells.
That's why I like JonTron. He didn't bow to anything.
That's what I said. If you're gonna do that shit, you stick to your guns and you stay there. If you have fans, you keep the fans. If you don't, they lose them. So what? They can sit there and protest like little children.
Yeah, that's why JonTron is based. You remember that from 2 weeks ago?
No.
He called the PSN. Not the PSN. The one where you rent games online for PlayStation.
GameFAQs or.
No, it was I think it's called PlayStation Next.
PlayStation Home or whatever the fuck that's called.
PlayStation Home. Yeah, something like that. And JonTron called it retarded. And then some dude said, "Hey, that kind of language is problematic. What if somebody's retarded?" And then JonTron said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were retarded." And then it exploded. And then Twitter exploded.
That's what I said. People get so fucking offended anymore for no goddamn reason.
And you know what? JonTron did not apologize. He stuck to it.
That's what I said. No, this is your opinion. It's the way how people fucking talk. You're denying the way how people fucking talk.
Exactly.
And it's when you do that shit, it's just bullshit. I love it when they were complaining about goddamn Dragon's Crown.
That was hilarious.
You know what? I have my fucking art book I got from it, from my PS3 copy. I got it on my Vita.
Dragon Crown's
I fucking wanted to get it just because it was supposed to, because they called it sexist.
So that's not the reason I got it. It's the reason the art style's like that is because look at the 70s and 80s. Look at all the sword and sorcery movies. Look at Conan the Barbarian. Look at Kroll the Conqueror. Look at all that stuff. It's meant to be an homage to that kind of thing.
And it's a Japanese game. What do you expect?
Yeah, of course. It's 70s and 80s sword and sorcery combined with the Japanese. The fact that it is tamer than I thought it was going to be, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I said. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. I've seen far worse.
Oh, yeah.
You've never watched Kroll the Conqueror.
No, I can't fucking wait till next month when I get my Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus for the Vita.
I mean, could a movie like Blazing Saddles be made today?
No, you couldn't. You absolutely couldn't make that movie today. And it is, honestly, I love Mel Brooks because he did stuff like that. He would be like destroyed if he did that today.
I mean, look at Lenny Bruce and Mel Brooks. Those are people who did more for civil rights than people just tweeting on the internet.
Yep.
Mel Brooks used to troll the Nazis because they were tasked with seizing this town, and to drive them out and sleep deprive the SS, he'd play Jewish opera on a sonograph or whatever the fuck they had for like record players, and hook the sound system up so it blared across the town. Because they were trying to take it and they wanted to make them upset or whatever, or try to deprive them of sleep, so he'd blast Jewish opera 24/7.
Oh, that's awesome! I love Mel Brooks.
Yeah. So that's the type of stuff you're dealing with.
Yeah,
but you couldn't make stuff like that.
He knew what real oppression was. He knew what real racism was. And calling someone retarded on the internet is not oppression.
No.
In most cases, is it crass? Yes. Can it be funny? Yes. But would I do it in like discourse with someone I like? No. But it's the internet. If you don't like it, turn off the computer. Just walk away.
It just feels like I'm always being constantly 24/7. I must be politically correct the entire time. It's like everywhere you fucking go, you can't escape it anymore.
I mean, look at
people aren't like that in real life. That's the funny thing.
It's the new taboo. You can go around and drop F-bombs, and you won't get arrested. You drop the N-bomb, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
It's the new curse. It's the new foul language. That's just how it is. You have to look up a lot of Lenny Bruce's comedy. He was really before his time. He kind of predicted a lot of this. But okay, any more about video games?
Yeah, I got.
I had to talk about Akiba's trip.
Yes, okay. Talk about Akiba.
I absolutely loved this game. My only complaint is on the Vita version is that the fucking load screens take for goddamn ever, even though I have it physically downloaded onto the Vita, and it's kind of really short, but it's meant to be played through multiple times, so you collect all the stuff and you go through all the different routes with the girls on it.
Oh,
but it is possibly one of the funniest things I've played in a long time, because you're just basically a giant weeb, and you get tricked into going to a drug company and get jacked up with vampire drugs because he promised you to pay you in figures. And the choice options, I've died the first time I played it because I kept having this option of like, where's my figures? And it was like, well, do you want to join me? I'm like, if I do not have my figures, then good day to you, good sir. And that's when he grabbed me and threw me into the sunlight. But it's just like the choices in that game are hysterical, and it parodies the otaku and the Akibahara culture, because you basically have to go around because this pharmacy is giving out vampire drugs and turning weebs into vampires, and it feeds off of their obsession to collect material goods like anime and posters and shit.
Oh, geez.
So you walk around and you have to beat the shit out of weeboos, and to do that you beat them up, you rip their clothes off and throw them into the sunlight, and they get bad sunburn. And then eventually they come back to normal. But it's an equal opportunity game because I think you beat up more guys than you beat up women in that game. But they have side missions like she wants the DED, where you have to go try and convince this girl's friend to get off the yaoi because she's too intense on it, and it turns into a fist fight because she won't give it up. She's just basically panting over her like slash fic that she's reading when you talk to her, and it's fucking funny. There's a game called The Idol Master where you have to go and beat up like AKB48, which is running around causing trouble in the Tokyo. And then you have the battle arena where you can learn different strip moves. There's one called Legends of the Romantic Hero, and it's based off of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So you run around, you strip the vampires, and you pose like JoJo at the end of it. It is the funniest shit because you pull all the JoJo's poses. He does the aura punch on it. If he rips a headband up, he jumps up on you guy's shoulders, like throws his legs apart as far as he can, and he rips like the headgear off. And at the end of it, he poses like Dio after he I guess when you do the finisher for it.
Oh, this is great.
And then it's even better because you go into like the strip combo when you just start ripping clothes off of everyone in a combo. Then it turns into disco, and at the end of it, you strike a pose, and everyone's clothes explode. And then instead of having nudity, they cover it with like fucking razor light, and everyone runs off. But yeah, you beat up like the hipsters that wear like the motor gang people that drive around with the things on there. You beat up like otaku with posters, and they carry around like stupid fucking weapons like electric guitars. You could beat up street musicians. There's fighting maids. And it's just a really the character descriptions for the NPCs are fucking hysterical because you have one called Privileged Skank. And then you have another one called there's just like a taku. My favorite is the Free Spirit, which is the hobo in the corner that's sleeping, begging for change. The Free Spirit. And it's just the shit like that. And actually, it's actually based off of real Akibahara, the places you go to that you can buy things from are real stores. So it's the actual map of Akibahara. And in the game itself, they advertise shit that you can buy at Akibahara, like the food places. And they have advertisements for other games on the TV screens that you walk by. So you'll walk by and you'll see an advertisement for Disgaea 4.
Nice.
And the other thing, and then of course you have my favorite character, and that is fucking Sister, because the way how they wrote it, they had so many ways of her calling him brother. You got Bronado with a protagonist. My personal favorite was Brozen One. or Brotaviesky, or whatever that. It was just like they had a list on V, and there must have been over 100 different ways to use the word bro. And she doesn't want to go out into the sunlight because she wants to stay a shut-in, so you have to get her shit. And she'll fix your cosplay for you. But it's just shit like that. It's a really fun game. I'm probably going to buy the PS4 version because I want to see if the load time gets better, because the load time in the Vita kind of pisses me off the most about it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the PS4 version because I heard they have more content.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Like I said, it's a good game, so I will definitely support Xseed because they're starting to turn into my favorite company. They bring over stuff that's risky, like Senran Kagura, which I'm definitely getting. I got the Let's Get Physical edition for that.
I'm getting the special edition of Danganronpa 2.
Are they doing that? No, is that NIS?
NIS.
No, that's NIS.
Okay.
NIS is good too.
Yeah, I trust Xseed and NIS to bring over the more niche titles, which is why I call my Vita the Weeb Machine. I've honestly used this Vita more in the 2 or 3 months I've had that than I've used my 3DS in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I just downloaded Shin Megami Tensei 4, so I'll be playing that for a good bit.
That and the fact that I have the PSN network and they continuously give me free shit on there, it was well worth the Vita investment I paid for. It's probably my favorite handheld device, the Vita.
I'm still like the 3DS better, but it's not a huge margin that I like it over the Vita. The Vita is a fine system. It needs more love from Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said Sony has like a really, really good thing going for it, but they refuse to fucking support it in North America, and I don't know why.
Just don't want to take the risk.
I don't know why. It's such a good system, and they're letting it fucking die here. And that's what I said. I thank God that places like companies like Nice and Xseed and Atlas will bring over stuff for it. Because I will buy things for it. That and the fact that I can access my old PS and PSP, or my PS1 and PS Vita games, makes it a good buy.
Alright,
But I think, yeah, that's it for me. I highly, highly recommend Akiba's trip.
Okay, so I got two games to talk about quick.
Okay.
The first game is I bought that Game of Thrones RPG. They were kind of PlayStation for $3, and let me tell you something. It is terrible. First of all, I guess I get it's a small company who made it, but it's one of those things where the small company should not be making these types of games because it's too ambitious for them. The game, the combat is a rip-off KOTOR in a bad way. It's 2013, and actually looks about as good as KOTOR anyway. The only redeeming quality in that game is the story, but it's because it has a George R. R. Martin did some stuff with the story, but then again, you actually have to play the game, which is not worth it.
Oh no, not at all.
And then today I started up Dragon Quest IX for well, it's a DS game, but it's playing on my 3DS. It's developed a combination from Square and Level 5, and it plays kind of like an old school RPG where there isn't like a lot of tutorials and it's hard as balls. Well, it's supposed to be. I haven't gotten that far. I've played like an hour, but you start the game. There's like no tutorials on. They don't handhold you or anything. The most tutorial I got was, here's a battle. You press attack, and overall it seems really fun. It has that like old school charm of there's not like a lot of I mean there's a story and everything, but there's not a lot of like hand holding or a lot of stupid stuff. It's more so you get shit done. You go, you kill shit, explore, level up, and it's nice because there's no random battles. It's all your monsters on the map, and then you just run into them like Tales games and stuff. So I can't say I really recommend it yet, but as much as I played,
Yeah,
I'm
let
enjoying it.
us know when you play more.
Yeah, it seems really fun. I mean, I got it for $10 a while back, but it's so far it's really good. Oh, and I also want to talk about 100% orange juice.
Oh, I've been playing a little bit of that though. It's fun. It's a solid board game. You rarely get a good board game, online on PC, especially on Steam.
I mean, it looks like Total Wii Band, kind of is, but the gameplay is a combination of a board and a card game because you basically, you go around the map like a board game, but you battle stuff with like rolling dice and cards. And the more you play, the more coins you get to buy stuff off the store. So you'll get like extra card packs, or you get like new cards and stuff, and new characters. And the AI is a total bitch.
Oh yeah, I know.
It is.
They roll ridiculous.
RNGesus.
I'm trying to play that damn story because apparently you get more characters to buy, and I'm just like rage quitting. It was like, oh, you died 5 times, and they died 0.
Yeah, I guess ridiculous.
You can't fucking win. They roll like 6s and 7s all the time. It shouldn't be possible. And what do I roll? Like a fucking 3.
Yeah.
Alright, anything else for video games?
No.
Nah.
Alright, let's move on to the last section. Anybody have any final thoughts?
I had something, but I forget.
The Fergs and stuff?
Nah. That's not worth talking about.
Okay.
I know the the SJW stuff is a stretch, but that's way more than a stretch. Well, everyone, have a good night. Thank you all for listening, and thank you for joining me. Everyone, have a good time all the time. Good night.
Night.